Hello everyone, welcome back to Simulated TC for the third and final race here in event number 7 at Mount Panorama. So far this event has been dominated by front wheel drive cars. You did miss either of those two races we've seen so far. Do make sure to go and check them out because we saw some very exciting racing indeed and some surprises along the way, especially with a certain manufacturer in particular doing very well even when they weren't on the soft compound tyres. And tyres is going to be a hot topic for this race, with the highest drivers starting on the soft, starting down in 11th place, followed by another in 12th. So plenty of drivers further towards the back of the field on soft tyres, but everyone towards the front are on medium and hard compound tyres, meaning that we could be in for quite a messy race, with overtaking proving to be quite difficult so far over the course of the races in this event. Adrian Tisci has taken advantage of Liam Jones missing this event by scoring big so far. He starts 8th in this race after getting a podium in race number 2. He'll be looking to try and bag some more points for his championship challenge as he looks to extend his now growing lead atop the Drivers' Championship. Without any more chat though, it is time to go down and look at how the field will be lining up for race number 3 here at Bathurst. Starting at the very back of the field then, it is Albert Asante in his Toyota. He'll be lining up in the 19th position on soft compound tyres. It's also soft for the BMW of Elmarie Salo lining up in 18th position. It's soft as well for Seb Mills in the 17th position in his Peugeot. In 16th place on the 8th row of the grid, it is Jordan Fingal on medium tyres for Tesla, and he's alongside Lewis Francis, who's on the softs for this race in his Subaru. On row number 7, it's Dimitri Sotirakis, the Greek driver for Mercedes. He is on the softs for this race, but Adam Richardson, the reigning champ, he will be starting 13th on the hard compound tyres. It could be a struggle of a race for him. Thomas Pierpont, highest starting soft runner that is a front-wheel drive car, in 12th place, with the highest starting soft runner overall, Ian Henwood, just alongside him in 11th place. Jackson Turner, the Race 2 winner, is lining up in 10th place there with the top 10 reversed from Race 2 setting the grid for this one. Turner on the hard tyres. Aston Lewis on the hards as well in the 9th position, with Adrian Tisci on hards, and then Morgan Hitchings also on hard compound tyres. In the 6th position on medium tyres, it is Matthew Lilly in his Tesla, with Charlie Goodrick on hards for Renault in the 5th position. The second row of the grid then, it has Leo Bonnet there for Alfa Romeo on mediums alongside Tyler Davison for Peugeot. He's on the hard compound tyres, and on the front row of the grid for race number 3 here in Bathurst, it is Dylan Varstenberg on the mediums, and on pole position it's Genesis, Scott Sandever looking to fight back in this championship fight. The lights are on then, and the revs are rising. We are racing here, and are underway for race 3 here at Mount Panorama, and it's a flying start from Sandever. The four-wheel drive Genesis will lead us into turn number 1 here, and it is Varstenberg right in behind him in his wheel tracks. It's a strong start from Matthew Lilly. He's already up into 4th position there for Tesla as they climb their way up the mountain straight for the first time here in race number 3. The sun beginning to set, but these drivers are sure to give it everything out on this racetrack. It's wheel to wheel there. That's Adrian Tisci and Tyler Davison who are battling, but Davison absolutely flying his way up the hill in his Peugeot. He's going to go to the inside now of Matthew Lilly as he's got a change of lead up at the front. It's Dylan Varstenberg to the inside, and Alfa Romeo will hit the front here. It's Scott Sandever dropping back into 2nd place. Leo Bonnet behind them in an Alfa Romeo double podium at the moment as he sits in the 3rd position. Behind them, Tyler Davison with a brilliant run up the hill, climbs up into 4th position despite not being on the soft tyres. In fact, he is on the hard tyres, so looking to try and make those moves happen on the straight, because that car is not going to be very fast in the corners at all here. As we look at Ian Henwood, the highest running of the soft runners here, he's making the position up into 9th place on Morgan Hitchings. Next up for him will be Jackson Turner in the Honda. Not quite a an overlap there as Thomas Pierpont is shadowing Henwood through the field at the moment now. As we see Jordan Fingal in 11th position, he's just getting ahead of that battle as well, as you see plenty of soft runners towards the back of the field here, getting a little bit held up as they try and make their way up the order. And at this stage of the race, it is crucial to get every position you can. Whilst the field's all bunched up and most of it is side by side, this is the easiest opportunity to make overtakes, especially with some of these cars proving to be very difficult to pass indeed. As we head down through Skyline once more, we can see that is side-by-side racing. Seb Mills passing Morgan Hitchings, as then we see just ahead of them, that's Albert Asante doing battle up the road. He's right behind Jackson Turner and Thomas Pierpont. Pierpont passing his teammate as now he remains on the tail of Ian Henwood as they come down in to Forest's Elbow for the first time in race number 3. Henwood looking to the inside there, not quite able to get an overlap though. Goodrick will remain just ahead of him now, as it is Henwood in 8th position, the highest running soft runner. Pierpont right up behind him, looking to make it 3 wins from 3 for front-wheel drive cars over the course of this event here at Mount Panorama. The long Conrod straight proving to be one of the strong suits of the front-wheel drive cars as they have a stronger top speed. We head our way down towards the chase now. Henwood looking to try and make a pass, but he's not quite able to have the speed down into the chase to make something happen. Someone that does have some speed, though, is Dimitri Sotirakis. He's wheel-to-wheel with Albasonte as Seb Mills with a big, massive moment under braking there as he enters the tight left-hander, manages to get the car slowed down just about there, and as they come through and out of the chase, he is going to be battling still with Dimitri Sotirakis as they head towards the final corner of lap number 1 of 5. The race will fly by here as that's Goodrick putting a block there in the braking zone on Ian Henwood, and that is also Goodrick making the pass on Adrian Tishy. Henwood now will try and use the vulnerable Tishy to get that position as they start lap number 2. Henwood looks to the inside there. Tishy, one of our championship contenders, in fact our championship leader, looking to just maintain as many positions as he possibly can at the moment, as Henwood now not only gets past Tishy but also is going to get Goodrick into turn number 1 as Thomas Pierpont will follow him through. He's now sitting in the slipstream of Charlie Goodrick as they head up the mountain straight once more. Pierpont looking to try and take his first ever victory in simulated TC. And you'd have to say, at the moment, he is in a very good position. He just needs to keep up with Ian Henwood and then hope, as they get towards the front of the field, that he has the pace to try and take the lead away from him. As we see now, Tyler Davison back up into 3rd position. That's where he started this race. That Peugeot is incredible down the straight, and it is displaying that once more here as he gets up into the podium places here. Sotarak is battling with Asante still as they come up through the mountain section once more. You can see them wheel to wheel. Mercedes versus Toyota. Toyota is going to win out on this occasion now, as Adrian Tishy, their fellow Toyota driver with Albert Asante, is going to be the next up for Asante to pass, and isn't going to make it too hard for him. The 2 black Toyotas side by side up the hill once more, and it is Albert Asante that makes the pass through, as Seb Mills now is on the tail of Charlie Goodrick for that 8th position, as we can see them making their way back downhill now. They've reached the very tippy top, and now it is all about decline, as hopefully it will be an incline of positions for many of these drivers. But of course, if some drivers are gaining positions, some have to be losing them, as Ian Henwood now looking to try and make a pass on Matthew Lilly, as also that Seb Mills making a pass there down the inside of McPhillamy Park. He gets down the inside and passes Charlie Goodrick, and Goodrick is not just going to lose that one position by the looks of things, as that is the Toyota of Asante getting past him as they head through Skyline, the S's, and into the dipper now, as Matthew Lilly has been passed by Ian Henwood. Next up behind him is Thomas Pierpont, but Seb Mills in this battle now as well. Another front-wheel drive car looking to try and keep up this streak of front-wheel drive winners as he heads down in to Forest Elbow here. Pierpont will look to the inside of Matthew Lilly, and that Honda should get much better grip. The Tesla tends to get better drive off the corner, but without those soft tyres, he will have nothing to give as they head down onto the Conrod straight now. It is going to be Pierpont as the 2nd highest soft runner at the moment, but Seb Mills is in his slipstream. This could be crucial for this race. Now we see Tyler Davison continuing to demonstrate the speed he has. He's going to go down the inside of Scott Sandever. Can he pull the move off into the chase? He can indeed, as long as he can hold on to it, but he can't. He crashes. Tyler Davison's into the wall. He's onto the grass. He's all out of shape as they head into the chase, but he just about somehow is going to hold on to it there. He keeps it on the grey stuff in the end, and miraculously is going to hold on to 2nd position, at least for now, as Scott Sandever is on his inside as they head towards the final corner. Ian Henwood, Leo Bonnet right in behind as well as they head into the final corner. On lap number 2, it is Tyler Davis who miraculously has managed to crash whilst overtaking and still completely overtake like nothing happened at all there. His teammate, meanwhile, Seb Mills, is making moves behind us. He's now past Thomas Pierpont. Crucially, that makes Seb Mills the 2nd highest soft runner now. He goes down the inside of Scott Sandever at turn number 1. Sandever in the Genesis trying to fight that one out, but it doesn't look like he's quite got the grip here. Seb Mills up into that 4th position. Now he finds himself 1 place away from Ian Henwood, who is at the moment the highest running soft runner in this race, but immediately you can see the gap is shrinking there as they head down the mountain straight, or I should say up, as they rise, briefly fall, and then rise again as they head in to turn number 2. Griffin's Bend, could this be where we see a change for lead on soft tyres? No, Mills stays in behind as Scott Sandever now finds himself battling with Leo Bonnet on the inside of him, and as they come up the hill once more towards the cutting they climb, it is Sandeva trying to hold on to every last position he can at the moment as he loses the place to Thomas Piepon on top of the place he'd already lost to Leo Bonnet, going in the wrong direction at the moment for the pole sitter in this race, although he was on the hard tyres. As we see Seb Milzer going to the inside of Ian Henwood, he'll become the highest running soft runner in this race. Brilliant move up through the quarry corner, and he's not just going to take third place, he's going to take second as well from his teammate. Seb Mills up into second place in this race, and now he's just got Dylan Varstenberg to pass before he can take victory here. Seb Mills now being in a very strong position, but Ian Henwood will be trying to do all he can to keep up with him, but Tyler Davison could play a very crucial role as rear gunner to Seb in these stages of the race now. As they head down the hill, you can see a battle for third position, but we've had a change of lead already. Seb Mills has taken away the lead of the race. It's Peugeot up at the front. It's front-wheel drive back at the front here as Ian Henwood gets into third position. He has got his work cut out for him now to try and reel in that little Peugeot, which started all the way down in 17th place. He's up into the lead of this race, and we're only just halfway through this one. We can see battles now. Dimitri Sotirakis on the back of that is Leo Bonnet there. Scott Sandeva loses the place to Albert Asante. Asante on those soft tyres, slowly making progress here. It seems some of these drivers getting a bit stuck in the mid-pack, and it's really halting their progress up the order. At the moment, though, it looks to be starting to single file out. We're starting to see these soft runners make their way more comfortably towards the front of the field as some of these outliers are getting pushed to one side now. As we head into the chase for the third time here in race number 3, it's wheel-to-wheel there. Sotirakis, a little bit of a slide there from the Mercedes, but he's going to get it under control for the braking zone, and he will move up into 6th position away from Leo Bonnet, who drops down into 7th place. Next up behind him, Albert Asante, another one of the soft runners now. As we see further down the order, Elmarie Salo, another one of the soft runners in this race. He started down in 18th place. He's only gained 7 places so far after what we saw a brilliant drive from him at Brands Hatch Indy. The BMW not quite as good at overtaking around this circuit as it was on that day at the British event. Now we see Leo Bonnet in the 7th position. He's trying to hold on to all the positions he can at the moment, as is everyone, as Ian Henwood has moved up into 2nd place up at the front. It is now soft tyre runners in 1st and 2nd. The next tyres, though, Thomas Pierpont. He's been stuck in this position for a while now. He's on the tail of Tyler Davison, though, but at the moment that Peugeot looks a little bit too quick to pass. As they head down the hill, you can see Pierpont actually is having to look in his mirrors as Dimitri Sotirakis is getting in the mix here. Pierpont's going to get blocked in behind Tyler Davison. Sotirakis is going to slide around the outside and inside of the dipper. He takes that position away from the Peugeot, from the Honda. It is Dimitri Sotirakis now up into 4th position, and he will be looking to try and take that podium place away from Dylan Varstenberg in just a few moments' time, as Albert Asante continues to make his progress up the order, but he's going to have to fight the Alfa Romeo down the straight now. The Toyota, one of the weaker cars on top-end speed. Will it be shown once more here? The Alfa Romeo, though, looking like it just doesn't quite have what it needs to stay in that fight, as the Mercedes is going to fly down the inside of Dylan Varstenberg, and Sotirakis with a bit of a moment into the chase. He's really testing the limits of that car. Of course, it was at this track that Mercedes took their first victory in this championship a season ago in race number 1. Can Sotirakis bring the team back to the top step of the podium? He's got a bit of a gap to reel in, but he certainly seems to have the speed at the moment in this race, as Pierpont still stuck in this battle around the 5th position, just not able to move anywhere at the moment now, as that's Lewis Francis, another driver on soft tyres. He's going to the inside of Matthew Lilley to get into the top 10 positions here. Lewis Francis started in at the 15th position. He has not made the progress he would have wanted to at all here. He and Elmarie Salo both getting a little bit stuck towards the back end of the field, as this track has proved to be very difficult for cars that perhaps struggle on top end speed to make the overtakes on. And perhaps that is a factor that we haven't considered as much on other tracks, and how that could have affected them there. So of course, Brands Hatch Indy on the other end of the scale, where Elmarie Salo performed so well, there wasn't really a proper straight to make passes, so that forced the drivers to make the passes in the corners. So it's interesting to see how those have affected different races this season. But up at the front of the field, it is Seb Mills who makes his way through the final few corners for the final time here today in race number 3 of Simulated TC at the Mount Panorama circuit. He heads into the final corner for the final time. Ian Henwood has kept him honest in this race, but it looks like Seb Mills is going to be on course now as he exits the final corner for the final time, joining the two-time winner club. It's another new entry. It's Seb Mills. He wins for the second time this season. He wins for Peugeot and makes it 3 wins for front-wheel drive cars at the Mount Panorama circuit. They could not be stopped as much as Henwood and Soterakis tried to stop them. So the official results then will have Seb Mills as the winner, just over Ian Henwood there. Dimitri Soterakis brings home a podium for Mercedes. Dylan Varstenberg in 4th place for Alfa Romeo. Strong drive from him on the medium tyres. Tyler Davison on the hards with a P5, very impressive from him. Thomas Pierpont really just didn't make that much progress in the race. He made some early stage progress, but just couldn't keep it up there as Albert Asante and then Leo Bonnet rounded out the top 8 positions. Just outside the top 8, it is Lewis Francis there in 9th position. Elmer Solo rounds out the top 10 ahead of Scott Sandever. Matthew Lilly in 12th place there with Charlie Goodrick in 13th. 14th goes the way of the championship leader. It's a couple more points to his tally with the race 2 winner Jackson Turner in 15th position. Morgan Hitchings, the first driver, missing out on points-paying positions in that one as he came home in 16th place. In 17th, Jordan Fingal for Tesla, Adam Richardson in 18th, and it's the race 1 winner, Aston Lewis, who comes home last in race number 3 here at Mount Panorama. After that round of the Simulated TC Championship, we now find ourselves with Adrian Tishy atop the Drivers' Championship. Just a 14-point lead, though, over Ian Henwood, who has been on fire as of late. He is sitting second in the points, which means we have a Canadian at 1-2 at the moment in the Drivers' Championship. Behind them, Liam Jones, after missing this event, he now sits just 22 points off the lead after being right in the mix at the start of this one, but he's certainly not out of it just yet. Behind him, Aston Lewis with his win in race number 1 and his podium in race 2. He's now 4th in the championship with Scott Sandever just behind him. Adam Richardson sits behind them in 6th position. 7th is Morgan Hitchings. 8th, Dylan Varstenberg. Tyler Davison sits in the 9th position, and race 2 winner Jackson Turner sits in 10th place with Seb Mills, the winner of race number 3 there. Our most recent winner, of course, he sits level on points with Jackson Turner. So our 2 winners there most recently sitting just on the very edge of the top 10 positions. In the Manufacturers' Championship, it is a lead that we haven't seen so far this season for any manufacturer, of 12 points only, though, for Toyota. They now sit ahead of DS, who've jumped up into the 2nd position, just a point ahead of Alfa Romeo. Renault sit in that mix as well, with Genesis sitting 5th. Honda in 6th after their win in race number 2. Subaru have fallen drastically down into 7th place, with Ford in 8th, despite Ian Henwood sitting up in 2nd in the point standings at the moment. Behind Ford, it is Peugeot, with their most recent victory there in 9th place in the Manufacturers' Championship. Tesla have dropped back down into 10th place, with Mercedes sitting 11th, and BMW with some more points added to their tally, but still nowhere near their rivals in 12th and last place in the Manufacturers' Championship so far this season, with just 12 races remaining. So as I say, only 12 races remaining in this Simulated TC season. We are getting closer and closer to the end, and that means we are starting to get a better picture of what we can expect. But still, at this point of the season, everyone is still in the fight, including you. You sat at home watching this, even if you're not in the championship. Mathematically speaking, if you came in and you won every remaining race, you could still win this championship. Of course, not going to happen. It's very unlikely that anyone really outside of the top 8 positions will be able to make much of a challenge to our main contenders, but still, it is very much possible. That's it then for this event here at Bathurst. I do hope you all enjoyed it, but until next time, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.